But again, like you've got to plan this out and coordinate this of how to make the most out of your Social Security benefit. And I would say rarely, if ever, does encountering a penalty mean that you made the most out of the decision with Social Security.
Peter, good to see you. Welcome back, everyone. We have some good news for you. Seniors will be getting a raise in 2026 thanks to a slight bump in the Social Security COLA. So, Peter, as you know, the cost of living adjustment for 2026 will be just under 3%. Before we get into the why behind the COLA bump, there is some misunderstanding about the COLA and when you claim. Even if you wait to claim your benefit, you still get that COLA, right? Can you set us straight?
Yeah, well, the COLA means that the cost of living rose. So, this is a little bit of two sides to the coin here. It does mean that your Social Security benefits also get an adjustment to supposedly keep up with the cost of living.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right, Erin. There is kind of a misconception here that people think that it's only if I claim that I get that cost of living bump. That is not the case. Even if you are decades away from claiming and collecting Social Security, theoretically, that bump is included into your projected future benefit. So you get this as long as at any time now or in the future, you will be claiming and collecting Social Security. The cost of living adjustment is a system-wide adjustment to Social Security.
Right. I'm glad we cleared that up. Okay. So now let's get into the why. The Consumer Price Index was just released, which showed the annual inflation rate ticked up to 3%. Following that report, the SSA announced that payments for 75 million Americans who receive benefits will increase 2.8% in 2026. So what does this mean for most people?
Well, first off, take it with a grain of salt that cost of living has only gone up 3%. And then the COLA adjustment didn't reflect the full 3%. It only goes up that 2.8%. And oh, by the way, that is before we see what Medicare is going to increase their premium amount. So we're actually not going to see that full increase as far as take home pay, because a lot of times the increase in Medicare eats up some of the increase in Social Security. Now, Social Security is a larger number, so even a smaller percentage may raise the dollar value that you're bringing home, but it won't be likely that full 2.8% because Medicare premiums are also going to increase. So on average, this means like $56 more a month on average for Social Security recipients, but we are probably not going to see that full $56 a month again, because our Medicare premiums, which the lowest level is currently about $185 a month, will probably also receive a increase due to increased medical prices. And then we also have to consider, Erin, that Social Security is usually only a portion of your income. So only the portion of income that is reflected by Social Security receives this bump. So if we have $4,000 a month living expenses and $2,000 of that is coming from Social Security, well, that side got a cost of living adjustment, but the side that we're pulling from our investments and our assets does not receive that unless we work that into the plan. And that's why each and every year it's really important that you review and update your plan, especially and specifically that income plan component of your retirement plan.
So again, for the average person, an extra $56 in their pocket doesn't sound wildly significant. So does this change anybody's claiming strategy as to when they should be claiming Social Security?
Probably not. But I mean, like $56 in 1 month does not sound all that significant, but over the course of all of the months over 30 years or so of retirement, and you include the fact that we'll have future COLAs as well, like this is a significant piece to the puzzle. But no, it does not change when you should claim and collect on a large scale. Maybe a one-off case-by-case basis, it might have something, but remember that first question that we answered, the misconception is you do not have to be collecting in order for this to impact your benefits. So certainly don't go out and rush and panic claim, as we have talked about on other episodes where we have drilled down on Social Security. But as you can see on the screen, if you wait till full retirement age, your benefit is 100% of your FRA amount, your full retirement amount. But if you claim and collect early, you can lose about a third, 30%, about a third of your benefit. And that's locked in permanently, right? You have given yourself a permanent 30% reduction. And then if what they say about Social Security happens in the future and they are forced because of mismanagement to reduce benefits, then you are reducing from an amount where you have already locked in a lifetime reduced amount. So that could really be a double whammy in the wrong direction. And then if you wait past your full retirement age, that is an 8% per year increase, plus whatever future cost of living adjustments are to occur over the next few years. So this is a case-by-case basis. But Erin, to your question, circling back, I don't think that the COLA changes the strategy for most people. Still, we urge that you do a specific Social Security income analysis. In fact, that's part of what we offer included in that optimized retirement plan at Richon Planning. And that's the income planning component. It includes Social Security, pensions if you have them, and then the withdrawal strategy to fill the rest of the income gap that we're going to generate from your personal assets, and how to do that as efficiently and effectively as possible, maximize the income, minimize the taxes. That is something that we urge everybody to do, obviously.
There was another notable data point that came from the September CPI report, an adjustment to the Social Security earnings test, which we recently talked about, which applies to people who claim benefits before their full retirement age and continue to work. Can you talk through what's new?
Yeah, well, there's kind of two sides to this, and the one side is up on the screen for this year's limits and limitation amounts. But if you do claim and collect before full retirement age, and you are still working and earning an income, you're capable and able-bodied, you don't wait till you're fully entitled, you go out and claim early, the government views that as double dipping. They don't view that as, well, you needed to claim it early. You just went out and claimed it early, even though you're still working, and they penalize you for that. And then and the penalty is different than taxes on your benefits. So this is a penalty on your benefits while you are still younger than full retirement age. There is an earnings limit and limitation. And for 2025, for a single earner, that was $23,400 for this current year. Next year, we're bumping that up. You get a whopping $80 more that you can potentially earn within a year of $23,480. Now, in the year that you do hit your full retirement age, that bumped up as well, and it is a little bit more substantial. So rather than the $62,160, that bumps up to $65,160. So that is a little bit more of an increase. But again, like, you've got to plan this out and coordinate this of how to make the most out of your Social Security benefit. And I would say rarely, if ever, does encountering a penalty mean that you made the most out of the decision with Social Security. Usually, if we are encountering a penalty, it means that we probably are not only getting that penalty, but probably did not optimally claim our Social Security. Now, here's the good news, is like those dollars aren't necessarily like lost to you forever. They do go back and recalculate your benefit, including the confiscated, penalized dollars once you do hit full retirement age. So you can get a bump up when you finally hit that full retirement age. And that's a good thing. But if we could avoid penalties, I mean, we pay enough in taxes. Taxes are penalties for doing good. Penalties are taxes for doing bad. We should try to avoid the penalties if we can. And then I do want to mention there is another earnings test on Social Security, and that is how much income you earn and pay into Social Security, that also got a bump up for 2026. And so now income earners earning more than about $184,000, that's the limit, $184,500. At that point in time, you stop paying into Social Security. So remember, if you're earning more than that, those dollars are not getting accounted for in calculating your benefits.
All right. So just to underscore, of course, this is complicated. The Social Security earnings test, the COLA, this is why it makes so much sense to generally wait to claim your Social Security benefits until at least full retirement age, if not 70. Again, can you just break down that math, please?
Yeah, that is often, and if you can, right? I do see people that want to retire early or that have to begin pulling their Social Security benefits. And I think no matter what your situation, we have worked and paid into this system for a lifetime. I mean, this is our earnings history here. And even for like stay-at-home spouses that are homemakers or weren't in the workforce or raised the children, like even those individuals, if they have been married, are entitled to Social Security. And I see a lot of people not putting in the due time in how to make the most of these benefits. And remember, again, if you claim early at 62, that's a 30% lifetime reduction that you have locked in. If you wait all the way until 70, you get 8% extra per year. So like you've increased your benefit by 24%. And between a married couple, just claiming on full year intervals, there's over 81 potential combinations before you get into any advanced strategies or breaking out on monthly increments. There's a lot that goes into Social Security. So often it is best if you wait till full retirement age, and all the online calculators are going to say wait till 70. And often that is good guidance, but it does not include and incorporate the rest of your financial picture. It only looks at projecting out Social Security. And that's a big reason, Erin, why, again, we encourage people to really run this analysis in the context of total planning. And that's why at Richon Planning, we offer that optimized retirement plan. The first pillar of financial security at any point in our lives is income. Then we look at investments, taxes, healthcare, legacy, and the decision on Social Security deserves some time and attention. It affects all of those. And, 30 minutes to an hour on something that we've worked 30 years to get the most out of, I think is well worth it as a good investment of time.
Absolutely. Well, Peter, if somebody would like to sit down with you and determine their most financially optimal time to claim Social Security, what's the best way to reach you?
Give us a call at Richon Planning. Again, putting together that optimized retirement plan is a courtesy service that we offer. We believe everyone should have and deserves a sound plan for lasting financial confidence, for freedom, passion, and purpose in life. And that's why we put together that optimized retirement plan for listeners and viewers of this program. Just give us a call to get that process started. 919-300-5886, 919-300-5886. This is not an overwhelming document or plan. This is about 8 to 10 pages summarizing your situation, your goals, and telling you how what you're doing will work to help you get there, or if it's not, what you can do and adjust in order to make those goals into the future, lasting financial confidence, more realistic. Social Security, again, a big part of that, but should not be the only part of that, but does deserve some time and attention. So I'm glad you brought this topic up for the week. And yes, there are always changes in every element of our financial life. Social Security got that COLA. That's good news. What does it mean for you? Well, let's run the optimized retirement plan report and see and find out how that's going to impact you and what decisions you should be making.
All right, Peter, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Erin. Hey folks, Peter Richon here with Richon Planning. So glad that you are enjoying the podcast, Planning Matters Radio. One of the tools that we've put out there that people really seem to appreciate and really are finding of value is at 919retired.com. It is your retirement tax bill calculator. If you've got any kind of retirement account, your tax deferred 401k or IRA, this is the website, this is the resource where you can go, you can plug in your own numbers, your information, you can slide the tool calculator up and down for your tax rate or your amount of savings and see what your tax bill is likely to be if you default and defer to the IRS's plan versus what you could potentially bring that tax bill down to. A lot of times it is a very significant savings. So if you have not yet, go to the website 919retired.com, run your numbers on the retirement tax bill calculator.
This has been Planning Matters Radio.
The content of this radio show is provided for informational purposes only and is not a solicitation or recommendation of any investment strategy. You are encouraged to seek investment, tax, or legal advice from an independent professional advisor. Any investments and/or investment strategies mentioned involve risk, including the possible loss of principal. Advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, a registered investment advisor.
Fiduciary duty extends solely to investment advisory advice and does not extend to other activities such as insurance or broker-dealer services. Advisory clients are charged a quarterly fee for assets under management, while insurance products pay a commission, which may result in a conflict of interest regarding compensation.
Peter Richon and Richon Planning are not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency.